Hi guys, welcome to my first episode of a series I'm going to call Reddit Repairs. A lot of the time I scroll through Reddit, I see people with problems that they have with PCs. I like to leave a little comment every now and then, letting them know how to fix it or what fixed it for me when I came across. Kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from a channel, Greg, who does Fix or Flop series. Obviously, I don't have access to computers coming in and out, so I'm going to have to do with fixing problems on Reddit. Um, I'm going to see if I can kind of figure out the flow as I make these videos. I'm probably just going to find random comments every now and then, go to different subreddits that have PC related questions. The first one that I see a lot is PC Master Race forum, or sorry, not forum, Reddit, and I always see little questions here and there that are normally quick and easy fixes, or general knowledge normally can help you with fixing problems that they discuss. So let's find our first post that we can I can give some insight on. Okay, here's just a quick random post. This guy's saying that his 3070 is showing artifacts like this on the screen. Artifacts like this are never good. I was going to I've already watched the video, but I was going to say check other games to see if he's doing it. But from what I can tell, this does just look like it's his desktop, which is never good. Kind of what I do here. Let's see if there's any comments. Yeah, okay, he's already done the GPU drivers. Yeah, fresh Windows. Yeah, okay. So let's just have a quick look at the error that he's getting. Yeah, so this looks like it's definitely going to be a problem with the GPU. Things that you can try and troubleshoot here is if you have another spare graphics card lying around, then give that a go. Sometimes this can be actually, I think he shows the temperatures at the bottom there. Let's see if we can actually see the temperatures. Um, oh no, the GPU temperature's at 30. I was just wondering if maybe it was overheating, and artifacts might be caused by overheating. 'Cause I've seen that before, but no, this is literally sitting at at 30 degrees. So I think the best option here is to test another GPU. If you have a spare one, maybe borrow a friend's really quickly. I know GPUs are they're starting to get a little bit more available, so maybe having a friend who would lend their GPU might be a bit difficult, but you can always check that. Otherwise, I would see if you could either, I mean, it's a year old. If you've bought it from Amazon, you could try and message Amazon support. Then normally, if you get someone nice, they might be able to help you out with saying a replacement. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here's another post. This guy's PC's acting up. He's getting an error message saying your PC ran into a problem and we're fixing it for you, and then it restarts, and it suddenly just, well, happens randomly. This is a typical blue screen of death. There can be plenty of problems that could cause blue screens of death. Normally it comes with a little error code. Looking at the bottom, searching that error code into Google normally gives you some steps to look for. But yeah, this could literally be anything from bad hardware, bad install of Windows, drivers messing up. It could be I've had to deal with this before with my own system, and it's a pain. And the fix that I found for it was a bit of a mental one, but I'll probably get into that one day if I ever come across a post that's very similar to it. But yeah, just an overview of this post of what to do. I would find the error code, see if it's a consistent error code, search up the error code online, check what steps to do there. If not, do a reinstall of Windows, and then see how you get on, and then start moving on to hardware and bits like that. So they're the steps that I do to try and resolve this. Okay, I see a couple of posts like this every now and then where they say this doesn't fit, or well, that doesn't fit, or the screws aren't working, or blah blah blah. A lot of the time, I know it's kind of in our nature not to read the instructions when trying to install stuff, but the instructions normally, as long as you follow everything properly, use the correct bracket for the correct platform you've got, normally the instructions are very good at telling you how to install these. Another way that you can look into install these, which I have done a couple of times when installing AIOs for friends, is finding the AIO, the name of the AIO, or cooler, or air cooler, tower cooler, whatever you've got. Literally just going on YouTube and typing installation guide of cooler, and you'll see a YouTube video. It will literally step by step show you how to install it, or if not step by step, because there are some some bad videos on YouTube of people trying to help. Probably this is what this video is, but you can find kind of, maybe it might just help you, point you in the right direction of how to install this AIO. So that's what I do on this one. Either look at the manual properly, or just Google or YouTube how to install the AIO. Yeah. Okay, we have a user here who's asking if his hard drive that he's bought secondhand is causing problems with his whole system. He's saying he's experiencing drops in frames, freezes, stuttering while playing games. He's got GTA 5 on his SSD, and he's got all other games on his hard drive. I don't think, well, personally, I don't think it's the hard drive, as the game's installed on Personally, I don't think it's his hard drive, because GTA 5 is installed on the SSD and he's still having problems with that, so we can rule that out. His specs are a GTX. His specs are a GTX 1050 Ti, Ryzen 5600X, Samsung SSD, which is good, and he's got 3200 megahertz RAM, 16 gigs. Can't see a problem there. So what I'd start doing here is I'd make sure that there's no background apps running that could cause stuttering, because it's happening across all games. There's something causing it that's not the hard drive. So I check if there's any background apps running while you're playing games. You can do this just by, if you've got two monitors, you can open up the task manager to see if anything's being used while running. You can download MSI Afterburner with RiverTuner. Here you can set up views to see the GPU usage, the CPU usage, clock speeds, all sorts. Try and determine or single out what is the cause of the problem. I mean, the fact that it's happening to all games, might need to look at maybe the Windows install. I hate being that person that says, "Oh, just reinstall Windows." Always try and do everything, because I know how much of a pain in the ass reinstall Windows is. Just go through, try everything. Always treat reinstall Windows as a last resort. But yeah, you can look online how to set up RiverTuner. Just Google it, YouTube it. Either way, you're probably going to hear me say that a lot on this series, because you'll be surprised. I mean, everything that I've ever learned about fixing PCs or tips to make PCs run better, it's all come from just looking at problems online, just Googling things. Sometimes you can find it straight away, sometimes you have to trawl through some old forums and things like that. But a really good skill to get, especially when troubleshooting PCs, is really finding out what to Google. I know it sounds stupid, but you're going to get two different, say this problem here, you're going to get two different results. Is my hard drive bringing down my entire system? If you Google that, you're not going to get anything. If you Google, my GPU looks like my GPU usage is spiking, or sorry, my GPU usage is low when playing games and I'm stuttering, it singles it out a bit. You get a little bit more to work with, because you've got more of a direct kind of area where you can try some things. So definitely getting good at Googling things, and you'll be surprised how much you can fix, or the satisfaction of finding something online, especially in an old forum, finding a fix somewhere and it works is always great. So with this one, I'd forget about the hard drive, I'd move on to other things, as said previously. This user has a PC that's not starting correctly. When he presses the power button, it freezes after showing the MSI logo, and then he has to restart it, and then it launches just fine. I might do a quick Google on this just to see if I can find anything, but straight off the bat, I'd kind of just go down the route of reseating everything in your case just to make sure that it's nothing weird is causing this to happen. I'd probably go down the route of a BIOS update as well, because it's obviously getting stuck. It's getting stuck on the boot sequence. So somewhere on one of the most likely on one of the pieces of hardware that you've got, it's getting stuck and it's causing the BIOS to freeze. And the fact that you're restarting and it's inconsistent, I'd go with a BIOS update. Give that a go. BIOS updates, I mean, you've got the motherboard there. You can literally just type motherboard name in, BIOS update, go to the manufacturer's website, download the BIOS to a USB stick, and go through the steps of updating the BIOS. I'm going to do a quick Google just to see if there's anything else that I can find on this, maybe. Just to see, I might show you as well what I would Google in this scenario. Just to go over my point earlier about Googling specific things, because again, if you Google here PC's not starting correctly, it's just a generic thing that you're going to get millions and millions of answers for. So let me do a quick Google, see if I can find anything. So here I've literally just Googled PC freezes on BIOS logo, and doing a quick skim through all of these. I think a good idea and what might be happening is changing the boot order at the very top there. It says that what could be happening is you're booting up your PC, is trying to boot to a device. It's freezing, it's getting stuck. You're then restarting the PC. It's kind of remembering that it couldn't boot to that properly before, so it's going to then move on to the next one, which is why it's then booting the second time. So what I'd do is I'd go into your boot order, make sure that your OS is set to the top priority or number one. Again, you can Google that, how to do that. It's normally pretty easy. I've got an MSI motherboard myself. I'm sure you just go to advanced boot options, and then select boot order and you can change things. But that's where I'd go with that one. So either I check the boot order first because that's nice and easy to do. If that doesn't work, go with the BIOS update, and then see if that resolves your issue. Okay, here's I don't think I'm going to be able to give an option to fix this because the way things have gone about, it seems like he's got a broken piece of hardware. He was going to change his thermal paste on his CPU because he hadn't in about 2 years. He tried to pry the cooler off. He then, by the looks of it, wouldn't come off because the thermal paste had glued itself in. Yeah, it sounds like he's ripped the CPU out of the socket, which is never good, and then the CPU fell on the floor. Now his PC isn't booting at all. There's no power at all by the looks of it. So that sounds like he's probably broken his CPU, especially if it's dropped on the floor. Now going on to ways to avoid this. Number one, I know it's a bit of a pain. I'd always put the PC on its side if you're going to take the cooler off or do anything with, I mean just in general, just put the PC on its side, motherboard facing towards the ceiling, then you've got very slim chance of anything falling out, or again, it's just a little bit easier to work with as well. Another thing that you can do for this is, I do see a lot of these where the thermal paste is stuck to the CPU. Don't pull straight towards you. The best thing you can do here is have the PC on for a little bit. Maybe play a game, maybe run a stress test really quick, just to kind of make it so that the thermal paste is slightly warm. It's going to be not as kind of crusty in a sense, depending on how old it is. It's going to kind of loosen up the connection a bit. Obviously it's still making contact, but it's not like a glue. It's going to be more of like the thermal paste consistency, not completely, just enough to kind of help with taking the cooler off. And then once you've turned the PC off after running it for a little bit, then unscrew the cooler and twist it left and right. Don't pull it straight up, twist it left and right. This will break the kind of the thermal paste that's connecting the in between the CPU and the cooler, making it a lot easier to pull off, and then you won't have this problem where you're yanking CPUs out their socket along with the cooler. So apologies to this guy, or I feel bad for this guy. Looks like he's going to have to get a new CPU. But that's tips for trying to change CPU paste for the future. Here's a user who's got some monitor issues. They're having this problem where they're playing games and their monitor blacks out. He says he resets his PC, and then it flickers on for a second, and then the monitor then shuts off again. So what you've got to try and distinguish here is if it's a problem with the actual monitor itself, or if it's a problem with whatever's providing the monitor with an image, for example, a graphics card or integrated graphics on a CPU. He's saying he's playing Battlefield, so I'm going to guess he's got a GPU. What you can do here is, if you've got a spare monitor or a TV or just anything that you can test where you plug your PC in, it gets an image, play for a little bit and just see if that the monitor that you're testing turns off as well. If it doesn't, then you've got a problem with your monitor. If it does turn off, then you've got to start looking at what could be causing your PC to shut off or stop working, not shut off, cause your GPU to stop displaying an image. If it's a problem with the monitor where it's turning off, then what you can try, go straight to the cable, try a different cable just in case it's the cable that's faulty or it's having a problem. Try using a different plug socket. It could be the plug sockets in the wall. I mean, troubleshooting monitor problems are normally quite basic. It's either going to be the monitor itself that's faulty, the cable, or the power cable. It's not normally going to be anything else that I can think of from experience. So that's what I'd say for this one. Yeah. This is what I mean when I mean this can apply to what I was saying earlier about Googling things, or making sure you're Googling the right thing or researching the right thing. Again, this guy's asked, what does Q code 42 mean? No motherboard, no kind of, there's nothing here, there's nothing we can work off. Not all codes on motherboards are universal as far as I'm aware. I think they all have their own separate ones. Manufacturers use different codes for different things. All this guy needs to do, he could have saved himself a lot of time waiting for people, well, he's waiting for people to reply to him to help him. All he could have done is type in the name of the motherboard and then code 42, and or just motherboard codes in general, and I'm sure you could then use Control F on your keyboard to search 42 and find kind of what the code means. From there, you can troubleshoot further and figure it out. But this will not give you, if you Google this you'd get a code for different. It might just send you down the wrong path. You might say, it might just come up saying code 42 is a CPU problem, when actually for your motherboard it's a problem with the RAM. But now you're going to be looking at the CPU, and you just go down this rabbit hole of not looking at the right things. So this is a prime example of what I mean by searching the right things, or searching things with enough information. For people watching this, it might be like, oh, of course, yeah, I know how to search Google, but you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people that don't know that a lot of simple things can just be fixed by Googling. So Googling properly, I don't know what, there might be a better term for it. For me, it's literally just make sure you Google things properly. And that's going to conclude the first episode of Reddit Repair. I hope you learned something from this. I'm going to keep going with this series, try and build up a lot of information on how to fix PCs, my thought process of troubleshooting them, what I've come across previously, and general tips on PC building, PC troubleshooting, and PC repair. Listening back to all of the clips of this video, I've realized how much I go, I'm going to try my very best not to do that. Maybe think of what I'm going to say before I say them, because I will just go on a tangent sometimes, which then causes me to then go, and you probably don't want to hear that when you listen to these videos. You can probably hear that I'm trying really hard right now not to do it. So I'm going to try and get out of that. Hopefully I get out of it the more I record these videos. But for this series, I'm going to try and get one of these episodes out a day, maybe every other day. And let me know in the comments if you've got any problems with your PC that you might want me to discuss or go over some tips that you can try. I'm probably not just going to be sticking to the PC Master Race subreddit. I'm probably going to go to other ones. I know there is a dedicated subreddit for tech support. I might have a look at that to see what I can find. If this kind of content does interest you and you enjoy learning about fixing PCs, going over troubleshooting steps, feel free to subscribe. I'll try and post all sorts of videos about fixing PCs and my experiences with them and my thoughts of how to troubleshoot PCs. So yeah, that's the end of this one. See ya.